Paul Andrew Etter. Paul Andrew Etter. Paul Andrew Etter. Present and future, visible and visible for what we want to know. And we want to know, Tony?
Did you murder Abigail Williams and Liberty German? Are you bridge guy? How did you kill the girls? And have you killed others?
Wow, you were really starting to get twisted in this whole...
Well, Keegan Kline, man, we read Keegan Kline, and man, that fool has a history, man.
Yeah, he was a sick dude. And for what's hidden behind darkness, and the God and the saints will reveal the answers to our questions. Here we go. So here we go, guys. We're going to go down this road. We'll see what comes out here. First two coming out for Paul Andrew Etter. Interesting. So I can't give you an answer to that yet. Hold on. Boom. So it's saying left, no longer here. It says, and things didn't work out. And then it talks about, in the crossing of that, it talks about returning. It says, two girls. It talks about two girls. Right off the get-go.
Oh, yeah.
Two girls, right out the gate. And we'll see what that's about. And then, and you know what's crazy? I wonder if this guy traveled. Here you're saying Richard Allen was in the same places. What if this guy was in the same places?
Find out right now.
It says, it talks about no past, but it also talks about, again, two kids here.
Oh, yeah.
Upside down. So, again, interesting cards. It says that God is upside down with what's happened, with who this person is. That's why hoping to return. And then it says, what a fool, what an idiot, what a dumbass, like what a fool. Talks about being a fool, but not able to fool everybody at the same time. It says, going up the ladder, it says a girl or a woman who offers love or who is kind. And then it talks about not depressed. It says, but two different people. Again, I think the mind of a pedophile or even a killer, there has to be two different people at some point.
And what's weird, from what I read on his info, on his obituary, he had a family.
Really?
I found it hard to believe, but there's more than one obituary
that would be two people, right? That's like Mr. Brooks.
Had a wife.
Mr. Brooks was very successful, had money. That's a movie, of course, but he had money, successful, the whole 9 yards, but he was literally a serial killer. So he was two people. That's interesting, Tony. It says, at the same time, didn't think he was going to be brought to his knees. Okay? It says, and then it comes out to say, nothing magical about this. In other words, there's nothing magical about this. It says, this is something that deals with the spirit. And then it says, and this is what left him upside down. Something that stems from when he was younger, from his mom, something that came from his mom. Interesting. So I wonder how this guy was raised. Do you have any info of that?
No, I didn't get that deep.
That's something, maybe we need to get deep into that. But again, it's not saying these girls, but it's sure have some similarities as we start. Here we go. Anybody got anything you want to say? No? Let's roll. I gave him 2 seconds. All right. It says, left, no longer here, and it talks about things not working out. It says, and there's no change with that. It says things were untriumphant, like he didn't win. It says that was his battle, his sacrifice was to win, like to keep going. It says, and at the same time, always afraid of losing. That's the rush, the surge of what he did is the battle, the intrigue of it. And then, am I going to get caught? It's crazy how people like that think, like they know, I could get caught here on this one, and they just, but they don't, and they keep going, and they keep going, and then when they do get caught, they just wait for the right moment to do it all over again, because that's the rush they get. That's some crazy ass shit.
That's the high.
That's some sick shit. All right, it says, but no burden on his back. In other words, no remorse. Even in the spirit world, no remorse.
Wow.
No remorse for what he's done. It says two girls. It says 2 girls and a family. Maybe he had kids. 2 girls and a family. Maybe I don't know.
He did have kids. I just don't remember how many or what kind. What gender.
It says, and there was good things. Like there was fruit there with the family. Things were okay, even though he was strange. It says he just didn't want to die. Didn't want things to die, didn't want to die. It says, but now no opportunities. And you can see things are turning upside down. It says things were left incomplete in that person's life. And then it talks about a knight in shining armor, but something that returns. And let's see what that means. It says an energy that returns. So he's an energy that's here, an energy that's around us, which is really kind of eerie. It says, who's left discontent. So when God is turned against you, you stay in what you call either purgatory or here as a spirit to try to fix what you've done, which I don't know how the hell he would ever be to fix that, especially when he's not remorseful. It says, and that spirit is discontent. In other words, it's evil. It's dark spirit. It says, interesting. It says, and slowly, it says, hung, like always hung himself, like stuck. It says, over a girl. So we know that what got him fucking finally caught was he had killed a girl, right?
He was wanted for raping a 26-year-old woman.
Right.
And they had finally were onto him. They were chasing him, and they had a 5-hour standoff before he, shot himself.
And he's talking about that. He's saying that, which is interesting. He's saying left hanging over a girl. Like he hung himself over a girl by raping her. Here we go. And that's the standoff he had, and then he was killed. Or he killed himself, or
he shot himself.
Or
whatever, twice.
Okay. It says God is upside down here, which is interesting. It says he had the choice to go down one road or the other, either the dark road or the good road, and you can see it in the cards where the vultures are and where the road is clear. It says, but this stems from a woman. Again, a woman comes up, which is really interesting. It says, a woman that left him upside down. It says, over money. You think she pimped him out? You think he was abused as a kid? You think she made money by selling him to other people?
I mean, in those times, growing up, a lot of kids were abused. I
think a lot of kids are abused now.
I think more now is mental. Back then it was more physical.
I think it's both. It's scary. Again, that's the assumption that we also got with John Benet Ramsey, right?
Sure. It wasn't here.
Okay, sorry. It says, and then again, there he goes. It says a child. It talks about as a child, two people. Here's the two people. Look, the good child and the bad child. One upside down, one right side up. Two people.
That's the truth.
Two people. It says that's crazy to me. Over money. That would fuck you up. If you understood that sex was as a child with an older person, then it becomes the norm for you as an adult, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
That would create you to become a pedophile.
Yep.
Money, you're not in this game. You're killing me. So just me and Tony. You're doing great, Tony. Way to go. Here we go. So
no, but you have a point there, because that's how he was raised. It was tough, back in those days.
That's just beyond my imagination.
I'm not trying to side with this guy.
I'm not trying to talk shit about the mom, but if this is what he's saying,
that's fucked up.
That would become the norm for you to have sex with someone that's older.
That's all you know.
Yeah,
that's all you know.
And as you get older, it'd be normal for you to have sex with someone that's younger, which is really twisted and sick. And here I am, my wife's 15 years younger than me. Okay. Oh, you caught that one, Amoni. Yeah. All right, here we go. It says, the fool, the idiot, the dumbass, all those things you can imagine. What an idiot, what a dumbass, the fool. But didn't want to be the fool, didn't want to be humiliated. It says that was his obstacle. It says that the sun wouldn't shine, but it wasn't okay. Although in his mind it was okay and he thirsted for it and it was something that he enjoyed and got off on, it wasn't okay. It wasn't accepted. And now it's crazy that in this world that we're in, they're trying to make it accepted. In California, you can have sex with a 10-year-old as long as the 10-year-old says it's okay. That's some sick fucking shit. And that's what California law is now. That's some scary ass shit. If you get near my son, you're in fucking trouble. Here we go. It says, didn't want it to be a problem, an issue. It says, but rest assured, it says, it brought destruction. It makes perfect sense. He's telling a story. Has he said he's done it yet? No. He talked about the girl though. So that's interesting. That just kind of could exclude him. It says a woman who offered him things. It says, but it wasn't a celebration. It wasn't something that was good. It says it only brought broken heart. It says delayed his growth. That's interesting. It says in his own home. It says something that was evil, that was dark. Wow. Talk about some energetic feelings about what the reason is, the justification for why he is who he is. But in a sick, demented way, you kind of understand in a way, right?
Yeah, you get a little understanding.
I mean, it's not
one you want to understand.
Yeah, but that's how twisted this is.
But
if that's what you're raised to know, if you're raised to be a gangster, you're going to grow up as a gangster because that's what your family's.
Pretty much all you know.
Yeah, if you're raised to be a certain way, I mean, you adapt to your environment, which makes it even worse. Like, that's fucked up. It says, not depressed about it, not bothered by it. As you showed earlier, no remorse. It says, strong feelings. He thought he could control it. Thought, I can control this. It says, but he couldn't. He couldn't control it. He couldn't control the rush, the feeling, what he got. He talks about that in the beginning of this reading. It says, that's what was hidden. That's the second person. That's who he hid. That's the emotion that came out when he was by himself. And it's crazy. I was with someone who was similar to that. The rush that they had was when they were alone. Their mind would drift and wander. They couldn't concentrate on anything else but the desire they had for something. It was scary. Very scary. It says, that's the decision. See? That's the decision between 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Like, this is one person to the other. Decision. It says, but now no new beginning. Can't do it no more. Talking about it though, still, this is a dark spirit. It says, between good and bad, between 1 and 2 again. It says, this is what returns to cut off his head. It says, this is what turns him upside down. It says, at this point, it's talking about no more opportunities now. It says, but there's no karma for me. I didn't do anything wrong because he's got no remorse. It says, that was the way he showed love. That's some fucking twisted shit.
Damn.
That's what he thought real love was.
Wow.
So he must have been completely abused as a child.
Yeah, he must have.
And as much as you don't want to understand, you kind of in a sick, demented way do, because what else did this person know? That's
still no excuse.
Still no excuse.
For what
yeah.
he's done.
Still no excuse, and still no reason. You should have got help. While my stomach's turning, like, ugh. This is why I hate doing these readings. It says, to him, it wasn't going to bring him to his knees. It wasn't going to bring him down. Like, it was going to be okay. But in reality, it turned his world upside down. It says, as a person, as a man, it says it was unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It says, but these are delusional things. Delusional and lies and deceit that he told himself. Things and people that he left wounded and dead and buried on the battlefield. And it shows in my card 2 people, which is really interesting. It says, but they weren't angry. Like, they weren't angry with him. Nobody's ever been angry with him. Or maybe in reality, the fact that he raped this girl in the beginning, she was okay with it, and then after she wasn't.
Yes.
Maybe that's what he's saying. It's just unfortunate the way it went down. Like, it was okay at first because he kind of seduced her or whatever, because I'm sure he was good at it. He was a pedophile, and then it wasn't okay.
That's a possibility.
I mean, I was threatened like that at a point in my life by someone who would say, if you don't do what I say, I'll call the parole board. I'll do this. Because yes, I got in trouble at one point. And they would hold that against me. Scary. Very possible. I'm not saying anyone did, but that's the scary shit. Here we go. It says nothing magical about, nothing's magical. And it says about a woman who spiritually turned him upside down, like talking about how he was turned spiritually upside down, which is understandable because there's a certain level of righteousness or a certain level of correctness that comes with going down the road of knowing not to interact with a child or to have those type of relations with a child. Like, there's, right? You know that you don't have sex with the minor. You know that you don't do things like that. And it says, but his was turned upside down. The way he thought and the way he believed was turned upside down. And so he didn't see it that way. It says, alone, it says, he wasn't angry. When he was alone, he wasn't angry. He was plotting, thinking. It says he felt like he was under control. He could master this. He had it under control. It says, and it was never going to end. It was going to keep on going and going. He says, it says, and it wouldn't have, but it didn't work out the way it's supposed to. It wasn't going to end, but it just didn't work out. And he doesn't see it like a big thing. It says his mom. Here's his mom. This is just weird. It says there's no defense. There's no justification here. It says no matter what happened, he was free to make the choices he made at some point, knowing between right and wrong. It says, and he turned 2 girls upside down.
Well, I did put others.
Okay. It says, because the road was wide open. So I don't know if he strangled them or stabbed them, but it shows something crossed here, which is interesting. And you can see the neck. See into it. You got to see what I see. It's strange. Could be strangled. Could be cut here. It says, and this wasn't about money, obviously. It says his impatience, his urge, his desire to get that high, that rush. It says with that, it says he thought this is the right thing. It's justice for me. It's poetic justice for me. This is what I need. This is what I got to have. It says that would return him to love. This is what he believed because this is how he learned to love. It says, and there would be no hardship. Like nothing's going to be hurt. Everything's going to be okay. It says, but instead, things were incomplete. It says he tried to avoid the temptation, but the evil took over him. It says didn't want them as a lover, just wanted to get the rush. It says that's what truly made him happy. So for him to have, so that's the thing that's fucked up here, is he's not going to admit straight up to anything. And the reason is because there's so many. There's so many fucked up things that this person did. None of them are truly the highlight when he's done so many different things.
He doesn't see it as a bad thing.
And here's the scary part. When he finally does get someone that's older, that's the mistake he makes.
Like if he would have stood with children.
As sick as that is, yes, Tony. Yes, as sick as that sounds, yes. Yes, you're right. That's exactly what it is. And so this is just some sick shit. But doesn't have the details on how things happen. Just that this is what he loves.
Is that he does have a track record, and he may have done it to others, but doesn't say he killed Abby and Libby.
Maybe he had to with these 2. I don't know. I'm not saying that he did, but he does say that there's 2 girls that he turned upside down. Now, and then it shows either the holding or the strangling, or and maybe he's done that with other people. But I'm sure when I'm not sure, but I would assume that if you're raping someone or doing something, you have to put restraint on them. You got to hold them down, and that shows the restraint. Or you're either holding them by the neck or something, so they you know what I mean?
He seems.
I mean, I'm no BDS guy, or what is it, BDSM, whatever you call it, BDS guy. That sounds like a pair of underwear. I'm no Sato. Ellie's gonna die right now. I'm no Sato guy, but I would assume that that's part of the rush is the restraint. And what I see in his cards, there was a rush, and it's sick because now I see what he sees. And for some reason, there's this unsettling understanding of how fucked up someone could become because of what a parent does to their child, which just bothers me. So, yeah, that was an interesting read.